Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Aspiring Scholars Podcast. We're so glad to be with you guys today. Kellen, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing all right. Still got that cough from last week. Still been grinding those cough drops and stuff. But
I told you. It's kind of like an eternal sickness here at Bethel.
Yep.
So today we have our third guest. We have our friend Matthew. How are you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited to be on the pod.
Oh, yeah. We're excited to have you. So how's your week been?
It's been pretty busy with Greek and Bib and Terp and volleyball and all of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, so I heard today for volleyball you guys did like a little costume practice. How was that?
it was good. We had some interesting ones. Our coach dressed up as Ash Ketchum, which was pretty funny.
Did you dress up?
Yeah, I dressed up as a baseball player.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Were you ever a baseball player? Or is that just like
I was not. I wish I was, but
So was pretty much everybody dressed up?
mostly everybody was. Yeah.
Did you guys get a cool picture?
Yeah, we did.
Yes, sir. When was that?
I don't remember exactly, but
Yeah, nice. Sweet. Well, so for me and Kellen, we've had a few things. We had a bonfire last Friday.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was fun.
We kind of just hung around the fire.
Yep. Whipped out the
played guitar,
banjo a little bit.
Banjo.
Yep.
That happened. And then on Sunday, we had the Oakwood Mangus game.
Wait. First, at the stupid bonfire, I picked, not that it was stupid, it was great. At the bonfire, I picked up there's like this cement bench thing around the fire. I was trying to move it closer, but I didn't realize it was like 3 parts. So I picked up the top, and it was heavy, so I immediately set it down, and I pinched my finger right between the top and the cement leg of the bench, and my finger's kind of cooked.
Yeah,
it's turning all black, and it's probably going to fall off, but we're chilling. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Life moves on.
But I was about to almost puke how much it hurt that night. It was crazy. I was kind of down for the count the rest of that night.
Yeah, for the rest of that night, he was out of it. He was just you could tell how much his demeanor changed.
Because it hurt so. I thought I probably broke something, broke a bone in there, as well as, I don't know. But no, I didn't. I can move it still and whatever. It's fine. So I was overreacting a little bit, I guess.
Too bad. But yeah, getting back to it. So Sunday we had what is called the Oakwood Mangus.
Oh, yeah.
that was so fun.
The football frenzy, Oakwood v. Mangus.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Oakwood Mangus is a flag football game between the freshman boys dorm, along with the commuters, and Mangus and Founders guys. And so with this, it's like a fun game of where they both make jerseys, and then a bunch of the other dorms will come and support and have fun, and it's a good community thing. But that was really fun. Sadly for me, who's in Oakwood, Mangus won.
Heck yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of rare. It's like a 3-year Oakwood winning streak or something. We just broke it with the.
Because Tim has gone 4 years without losing.
Yeah.
So
It was a pretty good game too. It was Mangus won by 1 point.
Yeah.
It was way better than I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be super bad.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think we'd have any good players.
One-sided on either side.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, Mangus, we were getting cooked though. We got 3 of our guys got concussions.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
People were getting injured so much.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, Owen, one of our friends, he got elbowed in the face, and he had a huge well you could see. And he had to go to the doctor, and he had a concussion and all this.
Yeah, it was rough.
I mean, because they had so many concussions, I kind of it would have been kind of sad if they lost.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yep.
But along with that, I thought it'd be funny, along with football, you have cheerleaders, right? So, of course, I had to dress up as a cheerleader.
Oh, yeah.
So the night before, I go to Goodwill with Kellen,
Yeah.
who dressed up for hosting.
Yeah, I was the MC of the football game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he was dripped out.
And so we went to Goodwill, and I'm like, what do cheerleaders wear? I'm like, oh, a tutu. So I find a purple tutu, probably meant for 5-year-old girls, to be honest. But somehow it fit on me. I bought that.
Yeah, fit is a strong word, but yeah,
And
it
then-
worked.
No, it worked, okay?
It was
Okay.
on you.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
on-
definitely on you.
I was wearing that thing. But then I also, later that night, I went to the dollar store and got makeup. So I got dollar store lipstick, eye gloss, blush. I don't really know what they're called.
Clearly.
And then the next day, some of our friends put it on me. And I thought it was going to be funny, but a lot of people just gave me weird looks.
It was pretty funny.
It was, yeah.
I just felt very feminine. And then, I had, nail polish on. And the nail polish stayed on for a couple days, and like I kind of got memed on by some of my teachers.
Yeah, Brant was like, "Why you got nail polish on, kid?"
He referenced it like 3 times during his lecture. He was like, "Yeah, you don't want to be a cheerleader." Looks at me. I'm like, oh, "Okay." It was a joke, but hey, I kind of deserve that.
Yeah.
But that was fun.
Yep. And as for me, what I was doing at the football game, I was the MC, so I got this really sweet, like $7 Goodwill suit jacket that my boy Tyler bought for me. But it was like 3 to 4 sizes too big, so we had to pin it up so much in the back with safety pins. It was crazy.
And then he shouted out the podcast.
I did shout out the podcast, but nobody heard because the speaker systems were so bad.
Yeah, it was like just this one speaker that he was carrying around.
Yeah, I had to wear it around my neck like a, I don't know, big necklace.
But then I hit a backflip. That was
Yep,
kind of sweet.
you did hit a backflip in the tutu.
Yeah.
I landed it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Also, I wore leggings under the tutu, which is kind of sus too.
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy fit you had going on.
Yeah, and then I had like my hair up in ponytails. But there was that. But then also, so today when we're recording this, it's Halloween, and so I feel like the biggest thing I'm realizing is how like it's kind of sad how Halloween has divulged. Like for me today has just been another day. I've just been grinding.
That's real.
It's kind of sad.
Shout out too. Today is also Reformation Day.
Oh yes, sir.
Yes.
And so we thought it'd be a funny move. I messaged my boy CJ last night. You all know him from the pod. I said, you should print out the 95 Thesis and staple it to my Catholic roommate's door. So he printed off the 95 Thesis
so
and
funny.
stapled it to Abraham's door this morning.
Yeah,
That was great.
hilarious.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar, another grinding bib and terp
So real.
and Greek. I'm just tired. Oh yeah, I also started this book that's really good about corporate election.
Yeah.
Shout out Dr. McCabe. He recommended it to me, and I immediately went to the Berry. It's just slang for library. We went there and we got it, and it's been good so far.
Yeah. This seems like exactly not the time you need to be reading it, like, for fun book, though.
Look, I would rather have less sleep and get a little bit of more theological knowledge.
That's fair.
That's the aspiring scholar mindset right there.
Exactly. Sleep is, like, I can get that back later in life, but I don't really need that now.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into the Devo. And so this week in Bib and Terp, we talked about Psalms and we talked about poetry. And so what we wanted to do is go through one psalm of thanksgiving, and then maybe at the end go in a circle of all of us and give a little bit of what we're thankful for. And I know this is kind of something you normally do during Thanksgiving, but I think it's important to recognize that we need to give thanks during all times and all seasons of our life. And so we're going to read in Psalm 100. It's not Psalms 100. It says, "Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations." Yeah. I think it's really cool to see that we are God's people and that he loves us and that he leads us to where he wants us to go. And so I can start with Thanksgiving. And so I think right now the biggest thing I'm thankful for is friends and the ability to have this opportunity to learn more about God in a community of believers that love me. It's just, I don't know, this last month has just been filled with so many joyful memories with friends that I think I'll cherish forever. And I'm so thankful that God's put these people in my life. And I would say that's probably what I'm most thankful for right now. What about you, Colin?
A lot of the same, obviously. I got great friends. Love hanging out with them. Such a blessing. I'm thankful just to be here at Bethel in general and to be like learning these. Even though the classes are hard sometimes and the work is really hard, it just is so cool to see and just grow my knowledge of the Bible and of the Lord deeper, I think. And also, I think I'm just really thankful for like God's faithfulness. I feel like I've just really seen that a lot recently, like ways where like I was one way or I was like deficient in some way and God has really come through and like met my needs and just really been there for me. Yeah.
Matt, what about you?
I think that the thing that I'm most thankful for right now in this moment is just the rest that God is giving me, because I got a lot going on with classes and sports and all that kind of stuff. So getting a moment of rest sometimes is sometimes a little hard to find, but especially in the last week or so, God's been giving me some time to be alone to either take a nap or think some things out and stuff like that. So times of rest is definitely a big one.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Well then, I'm just going to pray and then we can get into kind of the meat and potatoes of today. Dear God, I thank you so much for today. I thank you so much for Matt. I thank you so much for his willingness to come on and to be able to just spend this time with us with some laughs and being able to glorify you, God. God, I give thanks to you. I give thanks for the good times and for the bad times. God, I thank you for everything that you've given us. Because regardless of what it is, I know that your purpose and your plan will prevail, that you're a gracious and a loving God, that you will be there for us, God. And I pray that we can give thanks to you, whether it's in our highs or in our lows, or in an okay day or in a bad day, when we're tired, when we have energy, that no matter what, we're giving thanks to you, God. And I thank you that we're able to call ourselves your people, that we're able to call ourselves your church that you love and that you have come down for. And I pray that we can continue to love you and know you and give thanks to you day and night. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So, Matt, we want to start off with a couple kind of just basic questions.
The classics.
Yeah, classics that we've been doing with all of our guests. So first off, what is your major?
My specific major is sports ministry.
Okay. So what do you kind of want to do with that?
I both want to do coaching and also possibly in the future be a pastor. Because I think especially being a collegiate athlete is definitely seeing like athletes that might not have faith. And I feel like that's very important to reach out to those groups of areas that aren't being reached nowadays. So I definitely think it's important to go over those groups of people because everyone needs it. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you right now have any one sport you want to do? Do you want to stick with volleyball?
So I've actually thought about this, but I think I will stick with volleyball, but I played golf and basketball in high school as well.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do coaching in those areas too, because I still love those games. So.
Yeah.
Do you have any age you want to stay with? Do you want to be in college or?
If I stick to volleyball for coaching, probably, yeah. But if I go down the pastor road, I probably won't be able to do that. So I'll probably just do high school. So.
Yeah.
All right. Where are you from? Where were you born?
So I was born in Kirkland, Washington, which is like 20 to 40 minutes away from Seattle, Washington. And fun fact, Kirkland, Washington is where the first Costco was ever built.
Really?
So.
Have you ever had a chicken bake?
I have had many chicken bakes.
Or a double chunk chocolate cookie?
Oh, you already know.
Or the classic Costco hot dog?
Classic Costco hot dog, yes sir.
Yeah.
Yes sir. But currently I live in Pocatello, Idaho. It's southeast Idaho, which is definitely not a well-known area. So.
Well, you see, we want to test you a little bit on your knowledge of Idaho. Okay.
All right.
And no looking at the cheat sheet.
Okay.
Yeah. What is Idaho's state nickname? Do you know?
Gem State.
Correct.
We only know that because of Napoleon Dynamite.
Yep.
Yes, because Preston, Idaho is literally an hour away from my house.
Oh my gosh.
That's so. I've actually been up by there too. We almost stopped at Preston once.
That's sweet.
Preston has almost nothing there. Like it's basically nothing. Yeah. I used to go there because of golf, because we used to play at their golf course like once or twice a year. So.
Okay.
Was Napoleon Dynamite like huge for Idaho? Does that bring like a lot of recognition to
So
you guys?
funny enough, not a lot of people know that it was filmed in Preston, Idaho, including Idaho people. They don't know
Crazy.
that.
That's so
And I'm
sad.
like,
You got to tell them.
I've tried, but yeah, that's always an interesting one that some know it, and the ones that do are like, oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But the ones that don't, like most of them are like, okay, whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. I guess I'm the only one that really cares about that, but all right.
Yeah. So you are a Napoleon Dynamite fan?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. That's pretty much how I judge, like, if you're worthy to be my friend. It's like, if you like that movie, you're probably like,
I got you.
we can be friends pretty much.
Yeah.
That's just like, got to be the funniest movie I've ever seen.
So stupid.
The scene where that guy shoots the cow is hilarious.
Like
Dude,
everything. It's probably the
it's
most
so-
quotable movie.
Yeah, it's so
easily.
dumb.
Last night I was in bed and I had people in my room because it's Oakwood and I have people in my room every night.
Yeah.
And they just started quoting Nacho Libre. And so for like 15 minutes, we're all just reciting Nacho Libre quotes,
so
dying laughing.
That's great.
But hey,
All right. Reel it back in. Next, Idaho. Hard hitter question. What is the state bird of Idaho?
Ooh, I don't actually know this. At one point I did know this because my dad loves trivia.
make a
so-
guess.
Yeah, take a wild guess.
Oh, I don't know birds that well, so I don't know. I really don't know.
The state bird is the mountain bluebird. Ring any bells?
No, I wouldn't have guessed
I
that.
couldn't tell you what the. Oh wait, actually I can. Michigan State bird I think is a
Robin, I think.
card.
Is it a no? It's a cardinal. Indiana's a robin. There's like 4 that are robin all around each other,
Yeah, I think
and I
they're
think
cardinal.
Michigan is a cardinal. I think you're right.
But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What crop is Idaho known for?
Oh my gosh.
This is kind of a freebie. If you
Okay.
don't know this, that'd be
Okay, so the crop that is most known for is potatoes, and there are so many potato fields. It's not even funny. Like Idaho is a very beautiful state, but it all depends on where you are. Because you could be in the middle of nowhere and it's only potato fields, and you'll not see anything for miles. And then sometimes you'll be in the mountains and it's beautiful up there.
yeah, it is. Can confirm.
Can you tell any difference between fresh potatoes and like store bought?
Are you like a potato wizard?
Not exactly, no. But I can. So I did work in a potato field for
Really?
like a day or two, and that was interesting. So, no, I can't like tell what's like super fresh, but like all of the potatoes that you eat are probably from Idaho. So,
Do you like potatoes still, or you like get tired of them?
yeah,
from-
I still like them.
Yeah.
They just have to be cooked well. My mom cooks some of the best potatoes, and she makes them in the oven and puts some olive oil and some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had the ice cream potato?
Oh,
Do you know about this?
Is it actually
this meal?
real?
yes, this is real. Okay, so in Blackfoot, Idaho, there's literally a potato museum, which is, this town is 25 minutes away from my house. It's kind of like, it's not that small of a town, but there's not much there. But you could go in and have ice cream with potatoes in it. So, yeah.
So have you?
I have had it before. I don't love it, so
Okay.
it's not that great. Another thing that is interesting about like food and potatoes, there's a really well-known donut company like that's in my town that uses potatoes in their donuts, and I'm like, this is really interesting, which I thought was really strange when I moved there. So
Do they taste normal?
They do, yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Interesting. So how long did you live in Idaho?
So
Have you been there?
So we moved in 2018, so it's, what, 5 years? No.
So before that you were in
7 years.
Washington?
Yeah. So I lived in Washington for 14 years.
Okay.
Have you ever? This is not on the list. Have you ever been to Craters in the Moon?
I have
In
been
Idaho?
to Craters in the Moon.
Dude, that place is sweet.
It
What is that?
It's like a national something.
Yeah,
national
it's a
type
national
thing.
park,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they got these like, it's like where they would practice like moon mission kind of stuff because the terrain was like what the moon is like kind of. It was all weird and rocky and stuff. It's actually pretty
Yeah.
sweet. It's really cool.
It is
to
kind of
like
cool.
hike
Yeah.
there and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's my like one Idaho memory that I have is going there. Oh yeah, airdropped beavers. Do you know about those?
Airdropped beavers? No, I've never heard
Okay,
of this.
we were researching for this, searching up questions, and apparently they were trying to get rid of beavers from this one place, and so they take them
This is
in a plane.
in like the 40s.
Yeah, 1940.
That's so funny.
They take it in a plane. They put parachutes on them and they just drop them from the sky.
That's so funny.
They just airdrop them in. I don't know if this is real, but
Apparently
guess
it's
what?
like one of Idaho's biggest moments.
Yeah.
Biggest achievements. Right there.
I've never
in
heard
Google,
of
you
this.
didn't hear this in history class?
I've never heard of
They
this.
should
no.
teach that at every Idaho school. That's so
Bro, not
sweet.
even just Idaho.
Yeah,
That's
they
low-key
should teach
tough.
that everywhere. That's great.
Airdropping the beavers goes hard.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, well, you passed the test. I believe you're from Idaho.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So now we've already talked about it a little bit, but volleyball.
Hmm.
And so first, what is your position?
So I play a defense-only position. It's called the libero. We're the people that wear the off-color jerseys, and that's basically what people know us as. Is why are they wearing a different color? That's really weird. So
Is libero like back, middle, or
It's
something?
so-
and he kind of runs. Doesn't he run like most of the? I don't
It's-
actually know.
it depends on like what kind of defense you're running, but the most common is like the lib will be like back left because it's the hardest spot to defend on the court. So, and like all of the attacks are like funneled to you, so you have to be ready.
So you're that guy.
I
You're like the
am-
last line of defense.
I am the last line of defense.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So how long have you played?
I've played since I was, 15. So almost 5 years, like 5 full years. I had to take like a year or two off in high school because of like there were no clubs or anything that for guys in that area. But now there's one in IF. It's called Crow Creek Volleyball, and yeah.
Yeah. Have you been a libero the whole time then, or did they? Like,
I have not. So in high school and middle school, I was mainly an opposite, which is the right front player. And then high school, I was an outside because they pass a lot and they attack also. So no, I am just not tall enough to be an outside in college, which is okay.
Yeah. When does your season start? When is volleyball
It
season?
starts. So we've been doing stuff this semester, but our season doesn't start till the spring of next semester. So
Okay.
I know you guys had your tournament this last weekend. How did that go?
it was actually really fun. We got to play some old teammates from the team last year, and it was really fun to play them and trash talk a little bit. We beat them, so that's always a good feeling.
Let's go, Bethel.
But no, it was really fun. I think a lot of the freshmen got a lot of experience out of it, so it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How have you seen God use volleyball in your life?
I have seen God use volleyball in my life because of in high school before I've figured out where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. I really didn't have a clue of what I wanted to do. So when I got the scholarship and stuff like that, and I was getting emails and stuff like that, I was like, okay, well, let's figure out what I want to do and stuff like that. And I went to a private high school, so I got to learn about theology that way, and it was really fun. So coming here, I was like, okay, what do I want to do? And I'm like, oh, they have a really good ministry area. What could I do with that? And then I was looking and I see sports ministry, and I'm like, oh, that'd be really fun. Get to focus on athletics and also focus on the Lord, which is obviously the main focus now. But at the time, it wasn't my main focus. So I definitely think that God has used me in changing what my main focus is and changing it from volleyball to be fully Him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so now we also know that on campus you have a job, which is RA. And so we wanted to ask you a few questions about that.
Sure.
So starting off, kind of how is it, and like, has your experience been being an RA?
It's definitely an odd experience because there are a lot of benefits to it because you get to know guys and get to definitely spend a lot more time like being social. But it also takes a lot out of you. Like you don't expect it, like especially like in the moment. You're like, oh, this is fine. Like I'm having a bunch of fun with all of the guys and stuff like that. This is amazing. And then like you get back to your room and you're just like, oh shoot, I'm really tired now. Like I'm kind of overwhelmed. I also still have classes stuff to do and all of that. But it's definitely both a blessing and also like something that I'm like, okay, it's okay to take me time. It's okay to give some guys a little bit of room and stuff like that. So yeah.
What do you think the best part of being an RA is?
Best parts. I think the best parts is especially for me being like the young guy in our dorm. I think it's definitely like I have 4 mentors of like the other 3 RAs and then David, the RD. Like I think it's very much like, oh, there's so much that I can learn from these guys. But I've also had to learn like, oh, there's a balance. Like I was chosen to be a leader, and so it's not only about learning, but it's also like, okay, you like take leadership too. Like, it's not only about learning for the future. It's like, oh, you're in the moment now. So.
And so, what would you say the hardest part is?
Definitely balancing like time, because there's so many times where I see like you guys or some of the other guys like in the great room, and I'm like, oh, I want to spend some time with the fellas, and then you're like, oh wait, I have homework, or oh wait, I have class in like 30 minutes or something like that. Like I gotta focus on this, I gotta do that. But yeah, it's definitely like balancing out like what you're doing, and when you're doing it. So balance is definitely the key if you're gonna be an RA. So.
I think I've even noticed that being an RAR, that like there's pretty much people in our room every single night, and so it's trying to balance when to talk to them, when to be in community, and also when to get your rest and good sleep. And I think it's hard because I always want to be relational and I always want to do that, but if I then wake up the next morning and I'm grumpy because I didn't get enough sleep, then it's like, is that really worth it? So finding that balance.
Do you think that, like, what your experience as an RA is it what you thought it would be? Or is it a lot different? Like a lot easier, a lot harder?
I feel like it's different than I thought it was going to be, because I thought it was going to be a lot more of like, oh, planning events, doing this, and like trying to set stuff up for the guys and all of that kind of stuff. But it's a lot more of like, okay, what do I know about this guy? Can I, especially like from how like RAs and other mentors last year were for me, I want to be that for other guys and trying to invest in them. And so I feel like it's a lot more time doing that than anything else, which is a blessing.
What advice would you give to somebody that maybe wants to be a future RA?
Advice. Know your team and lean on them when you need it, because you will need it at some point or another. And I am so blessed that I have Tim and Keegan, who are guys that I've been doing it for like 3 years already. And they're like older brothers to me. Like, it's like, oh my goodness, I have this amazing help if I really need it. And especially like the first month or so, like I was like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And it was like, no, rely on the guys. Like, it's not all you.
Is Mangus where like your first choice where you wanted to go? Because I know they kind of assign you to different dorms based on like whatever they just send you there. So
I actually really wanted to be in Oakwood, because I thought there were amazing RAs last year, and I was like, I want to be a part of like freshman like life and invest in guys like they did for me. But I now see it as a blessing that I'm not, because there are some things that I would very much struggle with freshmen. But yeah, it was not my first choice, but I'm very glad that they hired me anyway for a different spot.
Yeah. So do you want to do it again next year, you think?
I've been trying to decide. I think I most likely will. But there are definitely, obviously, as every job, like there are struggles and stuff like that. So just like, okay, like how much is this like taking up of my life, and how much more time can I like give? How much more time do I, excuse me, how much more time do I need for everything else? And can I continue to balance it?
Yeah.
But I think next year I will also. At least I'll apply, most likely.
Yeah.
Whether I get hired or not, we'll see.
Yeah. And so another thing you let us know about is that you love coffee.
I do love coffee.
So our first question for you about this is, what is your favorite kind of coffee, or maybe coffee drink?
So my favorite like coffee usually is just a normal caramel latte, usually cold, but recently I've been liking hot drinks more often. Yeah, so I worked in a coffee shop, and so I know coffee pretty well. So
Yeah, I don't know much about coffee, but yeah. So what is the best place nearby that you would say?
So near here, I don't know all that well because like I don't live here, and I also don't I don't drive off campus all that often. But some of the stuff in Heritage down in the Acorn is fantastic. Today I had their Fireside. It's like chocolate and marshmallow. It was one of the best drinks I've had in a really long time. Like it was very good. Yeah.
So would you say you like more hot coffee or cold?
Nowadays, I'm liking hot more, but I used to only be cold or iced. But yeah, I'm definitely growing my taste in coffee being hot. So.
Okay, our last question about coffee.
All right.
Do you really like coffee, or are you just addicted to caffeine?
So I actually asked myself that question like this past week, and I was like, all right, is it just for the caffeine that I'm doing this, or do I truly enjoy it? So then today was the first time I've had coffee in like a week. So I'm like, no, it's because I actually do like coffee. It's not just for the caffeine. So
Yeah. Are you a big Starbucks guy?
I don't like Starbucks.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because the drinks or the coffee itself is not that good. Like it's mediocre at best. And they charge you a lot for it. So it's just like you might as well go to an actual good coffee shop and sit down and enjoy your time. Maybe spend about the same, but you're going to enjoy that coffee so much more. So I'm not big on Starbucks, even though Starbucks did start in Seattle.
Dang. You've been everywhere, where all the big places.
I have been lots of places, yes.
You said you worked in a coffee shop. Where was that at?
So that was in my town back in Idaho. It's called Glean Coffee. I knew the owners and stuff like that, and like I basically just graduated like after my senior year, and I was like, oh, okay, I need a job for the summer. And they were like, hey, like we need some hands, like we'll teach you how to make coffee and stuff like that. And at the time I didn't actually like coffee, so I was just like, okay, this is like, okay, yeah, that's a good job, get good tips and stuff like that, so like I'll work. But I've definitely learned to love, like, to love coffee itself, but also just like love the community that you get from working in a coffee shop, and also just like learning how to make new drinks, just like having that relation with like customers and stuff like that. So that's always fun. And especially nowadays, like Christianity and like coffee are becoming more and more of a thing. Like they kind of go together a little bit more, which is obviously a fantastic thing. Like I think that's awesome.
I think the vibe from coffee places is honestly so nice. I feel like a lot of places, well, I mean, it probably changes depending on the place, but like places like Heritage are such good places to just like get a coffee and just do work.
Yeah. So that was the other thing of the coffee shop that I worked at. It was owned by two Christian families, one of which is actually studying to be a pastor, which is fantastic.
That's awesome.
But it's a Christian company, so like $1 of every drink that they sell, like they donate, which is amazing.
Wow.
I think that's fantastic. Like it's a fantastic business. Like they just opened their second shop in Idaho, so it's just a fantastic. I love the owners. I love the company. It's just awesome.
That's awesome. Well, then our next thing is, so me and you have this in common. We both like anime. Okay.
I do like.
So
anime.
what would you say your favorite anime is?
Are we saying all time or currently?
We'll do both.
Okay. I think all time I have to go with Dragon Ball because like I grew up on it.
Yeah.
Like it's fantastic. Some of the animation is crazy. Power levels, like all of that kind of stuff. I just love it. And especially like the Cell arc. I love the Cell arc. It's amazing. I love it. But currently, Jujutsu Kaisen is probably my favorite, just because like the animation's fantastic. The emotion from the characters is there. It's fantastic. And people who say that show isn't good, I will throw hands. Like, it is a good show.
I like it. The fight scenes are crazy, but it's probably not my favorite. I definitely gotta say One Piece all the way.
One Piece is good, yeah.
One Piece is just different. It's so good. But 1,000, like it's like 1,100 something episodes.
It's getting crazy now.
But I started watching it, I want to say, my sophomore year of high school. But I kept on going on breaks. And then going into my junior year, I caught up on the manga. Because the manga is just way faster, because you can just read it.
Yeah, you can go at your own pace,
But yeah,
basically.
it's so good. But yeah. So, what got you into anime?
So it started with Dragon Ball. I don't remember exactly how it started. I think it started somehow with like a YouTuber playing like a Dragon Ball game. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. I should like actually watch the show so I understand what's happening and stuff like that. So I watched it. I didn't watch like a original Dragon Ball because it's okay at best. But Dragon Ball Z, like watching from like when Raditz shows up, going into like the Cell, like all the way to the Cell arc, I'm like, this is peak anime. Like this is amazing. Fight scenes are there. The story is pretty good. Some of the emotion from the characters is kind of meh, but you know, yeah. So it definitely started with Dragon Ball, but yeah, definitely watched a lot of anime because it's just good stuff. So.
Yeah, mine was kind of a weird way of getting in. So it was my freshman year. I just got home from a football game on a Friday night. I was just on Netflix in my living room, like scrolling through, and I just came across Naruto. And I like watched whatever the little preview thing, and then I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. I mean, it was like, oh, like I'd seen it before, but I had this really weird vision of what it was. I thought it was like a super hyper, like dark, like gritty show.
Yeah.
And so I turned it on. I watched the first episode. I was like, dang. And so then I loved that.
Did you start with Naruto or Naruto Shippuden?
Naruto.
Okay.
Yeah, original Naruto. So I watched that, and then somewhere in the middle of Naruto, I was like, oh, My Hero looks cool. Switch to My Hero. So I was switching back and forth. And so the first one I would say I fully caught up to was definitely My Hero Academia. But it was kind of switching, because Naruto is just such a long one that it was like I watched a lot of shows while I was still in the middle of Naruto.
Yeah, yeah. My Hero, just sometimes, like, especially like on the start, I like it, but like in the middle, where it's just like after like they get what Bokuto, is that his name? Bakugo. Like when they get him back from the villains and stuff like that, I'm like, this kind of just like fell off. It feels kind of meh. And then like I read ahead in the manga, and I when Deku turns vigilante, I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
No, yeah,
like
that
this
part's
is actually
sweet.
gas. And then they only did vigilante for like
Yeah,
what was it, 10 chapters or something?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I was like, no, you could have done so much more with this. This is all like, I was so excited for that, and then they just cut it like really, really short. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I was caught up on the manga at that point, and I was like, dude, this is so sick. Like, they should like go into this for a while. Yeah, it definitely felt like it was just rushed.
Yeah.
And like the ending, I stopped watching and reading, but I've heard the ending is just garbage. I've heard they like end so terribly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I definitely had that same thought when I read the ending. I was just like, that's it?
yeah.
Like, I think the final chapter where like it's the time skip like 8 years later. It's like okay, yeah, like sure, that's kind of cool, but like how the fight ends, I was like, I feel like I want more. Like there's something missing.
Yeah.
So it's just like the ending wasn't my favorite.
What are your thoughts on Attack on Titan? That's like the only anime I've actually liked.
So my thoughts on I think that season 1 and 2 were really good, and don't get me wrong, there's some good stuff in the like newer seasons, but I just don't love it the same as everybody else does.
Yeah, I would disagree. I feel like season 3 is peak. Season 3, part 2 is so good. Oh my goodness. The return to Shinganshina. Oh my gosh.
I think for me, it's probably because like Aaron's character like just like slowly loses emotion, and like it almost feels like I can't like connect with the character because he doesn't have any, and it's just like, oh, like this is another loophole like that he just comes out of nowhere with. So I'm just like I can't connect with him.
Yeah.
And it's just a little harder. And maybe you're not supposed to, and maybe you're supposed to connect with everybody else, but
Yeah. You kind of find out later with what happens at the end. I feel like you're not supposed to.
yeah.
Because it's supposed to be the sudden shift of change in his personality, which results in
Yeah.
crazy twist
Don't
later.
spoil it.
I'm not going to, but it's definitely something you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah. So then, we also know that you like movies and you like TV. So what is your favorite movie?
So my favorite movie of all time is The Matrix. I love the philosophy of the movie. I love the action of the movie. I also just love Keanu Reeves as an actor. He's phenomenal, especially just in actor like action roles. I'm just like, oh my goodness, he's so good at it. But like especially like back when was it released? Like 2001. Like with like the CGI that they had, they did a fantastic job.
Definitely.
Like, all of the animation that they did, I thought was fantastic, especially with what they had. But like, I just love it. That like the other, how many are there now? There are four in total, but the ones after the first one are just kind of meh. Like the second one is trash. The third one is okay. Excuse me. And then the fourth one just feels like a redo of the first one. So it's like, okay, all right, whatever. But I think it's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, I've actually never watched The Matrix.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, why not?
Dr. McCabe is heated on that one.
I just like, I don't know, I never got around to it. I want to eventually, but I already know the plot, so it's kind of like,
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And then with that, you kind of said, I don't know if he maybe is, but who is your favorite actor?
My favorite actor is Keanu Reeves. I also just think he's just a phenomenal human being. Also, he's just a really nice guy. But like his stuff in John Wick, obviously, is fantastic. Why can I think of? There's one that like it's action about like demons and stuff like that, and he's just like killing all of the
Constantine?
demons. Yes, Constantine. That movie is phenomenal. I love that movie. But there are just so many good Keanu Reeves movies. Have you seen the time travel with like Ted?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah. So funny.
That's
It's
a good
so
movie.
funny. But it's also really odd to see Keanu in like a comedy role instead of an action or serious role. So I was just like, whoa, this is crazy when I first saw it. So
Yeah. All right, now kind of turning a different direction. So you said that you enjoy like personal writing. You want to expound on that? Like what kind of writing do you do?
So I do, we kind of talked about this earlier, like psalm writing. I find it like very healing. It's very much like you're having an ongoing conversation with God. It's very much like you spewing out like your emotions and stuff like that. And there's something that Dr. McCabe said in class the other day. It was like, God would rather you like be frustrated at him than not believe at all or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I thought that those words are fantastic because I find that so true. Because sometimes, like, obviously you prefer not to, but sometimes you really do need to be like, God, what is happening? Like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand the plan. And so writing for me is definitely an easy way of doing that without like verbally doing it. But I also do a bunch of other stuff like creative writing. Like I had one, most of them are like Christian inspired. I had one that was really good that like it's an ongoing conversation with the devil, which I know kind of sounds weird, but like it's like the devil like saying, oh, you did this, like you should be ashamed, or like aren't you gonna be mad at yourself? And then it's just like me just being like, no, I'm just done being mad at myself for it. Like, am I gonna fail in this way again? Probably. But it's also more than that.
Yeah.
It's not just about your sins. It's not just about you hating yourself. It's also about like being like, okay, yeah, I failed, but there's always tomorrow. There's always now. There's always the next step in trying your best to be as holy as possible.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah, so me and Callan, for our Proverbs book study, we've been challenged to like write distilled wisdom. Just in a way, it's kind of like Psalms, but Psalms is a little bit more emotional.
Yeah.
But I think through that, it's helped me to recognize some things that I'm learning through life, and also be able to have a dialogue with myself about what I find value in and what I'm seeing in the world around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so with that, I think we're going to kind of wrap up. And so thank you so much, Matt, for being on. We're so glad to have you.
I'd love to be on again.
Hey.
The Matthew Matty Ice Samuelson with the most, oh my goodness. We cannot end this podcast without mentioning Matt's lovely moisturized hands. Matt has some of the most baby soft, luxurious,
I can't believe you've
moisturized
done
hands. I do not mean this in a weird way. I do not mean this in any other way besides I just love when I see Matt, I dap him up. He hits me with the cleanest dap with these beautiful, silky smooth hands.
There's got
I
to be
can't believe you've done this.
This is not gay. I'm not. Never mind. I just like his hands. They're nice, okay?
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'll pray. Dear God, I thank you so much for Matt. I thank you so much for his willingness to come on and be able to just have a dialogue with us and just have fun, be able to learn more about him. And I pray that, God, that through his story, through his passions, that you can just be a light to those around us, God, and that this podcast can just be a light to somebody to be able to see who you are and to be able to know that they should give thanksgiving, and also to just maybe relax and have a little bit of fun time just listening to a couple friends talking, God. And I pray that as we go into this next week that we trust you and love you and know you, and that we can grow closer to you every day, God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, carpe diem. Seize the day. Thanks for listening.